Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk. This is Poi, your host. We got Mac over here, we got Tack
Oh, yeah.
down there, and we got Julian, our guest, down here. All
Oh,
right. Before we get started, this topic is gonna be airsoft shooting competition. Before I go into my little segment here, we've had Julian before as a guest. What were we talking about? I believe it was
Right after Op
mm,
Shanty.
yeah, off Shannon.
yeah,
It was
Milsim. Yeah,
Milsim. There you go. We were talking
Milsim.
about
Yeah.
Milsim. And other than that, how are you doing, Julian? And how is ASG doing as far as like being in airsoft?
Doing great. Airsoft is growing.
Perfect.
Airsoft is busy. I'm sure everyone here is busy. Um, I would say definitely interest hasn't waned down despite having the COVID that we've been having, but we still have people keep coming out every week. So it's good to see that lots of people are still coming out to play. So in that sense, it's good. It's good to see that the industry, the community, amount of people there are still coming out to play.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that's like I think quite important. So
Good.
and diversity too. Actually, it was kind of. I remember you guys did a segment last week about ladies participating in sport. So diversity there between all coming out, which is good. It's good to see more people on that.
We definitely want to see more diversity there at the field. It's awesome that girls come and play, but there's also other people that run field games, which is yourself and your company, Airsoft Strike Group. I'm almost automatically saying Airsoft Gear Group, your old
Yes. Yeah.
company. But
Or
how is
previous
that going
company.
in
Yeah.
terms of the name transition? Still saying the old name, or are we gone past that?
Um, well, there you go. So just a lot of people refer to us and recognize us as ASG, right?
Yeah.
And part of the reason why we decided to switch the name because we wanted to be representation of more of the community than more than the retailer front.
Yeah.
Hence, that's why the store and the competition and the same. That was like the Milsims is kind of like I would say it comes more community driven from a player mindset to create games, to create a place for guys to grab stuff, the items needed, to play the games together, right?
Yes.
So since from then to now, it's been growing, which is good.
Yeah.
It hasn't stopped growing, so that's
And
good.
you've opened up a store at the field now. Tell us a little bit about that. I understand that the last time we had you here, you were just in the process of sort of finishing up that. How's that
Yeah,
store doing so far at the field too?
it's come a long way because we started the construction last year summer between July and August. Store is fully built now. I should post pictures. But anyways, we got a bunch of items in. We're still waiting to get more stock in, but the store is now fully open. And basically stocking mainly parts and accessories. That's kind of our focus
Ah,
uh, because we see that players, at least can give them a little bit of convenience, see that they can get the items they need at the field. Because I know I've heard some people sometimes have some challenges with traveling to other stores. Is what it is. Some people can't travel. You can order online as well, but nothing beats in terms of handling the product in your hand to kind of try and
yeah.
feel and then decide and you can buy it as
Especially
well.
especially when you're at the field already, you'd be like, man, I need this. Oh, look, a store.
Mm,
Yeah,
You get the
mm.
Mac. You
yeah.
got Mac and Tactical over here with their store, and then you got your store here. Man, what else is next?
But my
Yeah,
favorite line
it's going
is
pretty well.
I forgot my mags, and I'm like, what?
Or you
Oh,
forgot your
hello.
battery. Yeah,
Battery is probably the most common.
Oh,
So
yeah. Battery's the most common one.
I
speaking of which, do
swear
you
I
guys have
charged
batteries?
this.
Oh, yeah,
Where do we? Yeah, that's a common one
charge.
too. Yeah,
I
Mhm.
swear I charged it. It's
yeah.
green.
Put it to the connector.
Yeah,
You have lied.
2%. The lie detector determined that was a lie.
yeah, no,
Jerry.
totally. Surely.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Um,
so store's doing good then.
Mhm.
So
yep.
now the reason you're here, we're all here, is because Mac did a segment on airsoft shooting competitions. I hope you
Mhm.
had an opportunity to watch it. Was it
Yep,
sort of
I
a
did.
mind-opening sort of like video or experience to see the players explaining and as well as going through their experiences of going through a shooting competition, and as well as people who never usually visit that area of the field, and explain to us what their experience are in terms of going down there and then seeing this. Like, was that a great video for you to watch? Like to see progress.
It's a good video for me to watch because because it shows that people have an interest in shooting. and competition style. Because everyone, enjoys a game, and some people enjoy milsim, but some people I know just prefers just the shooting, target shooting, right, or speed shooting on targets kind of stuff. So seeing as the video, as we expand, Max interviewing all the guys and they talk about it and check out the system, it's great to hear that people are interested in that kind of segment or style of airsoft, right? Because we've talked about before in the past, what is airsoft? Is it hobby? Is it a sport, or is it a lifestyle, right?
I think we're definitely jumping into the sport at this point with the
Yeah.
competition.
So so you got some that people want just more the sport competitive side, and the other part I've seen before, especially a competition, is guys that like to tech out. They're in between the right pillar, really tech it up kind of stuff, and then bring it and then try it. Versus some of them may not say want to go play against people, but they like to just take on static targets. So again, coming back to that video, that interview, that Mac went and saw, chat with people, it's good to see that people are interested in, and hopefully looking, more forward to more people diving into this, because I think this is something we've always needed for a long time, and no one's really explored this or offered this out to the people, right? So then you kind of limit the players, I guess, in some sense, of choices. Either you got to play your standard, skirmish game, or your milsim, and that's kind of like the only two areas you can really offer, right?
Okay.
So,
all right. So, I guess I'll start with my little segment here. So there are many different types of shooting competitions around the world. It can vary from different regions, different locations, different, even like you get indoor, you get outdoor. There's many different types. A competition is basically an event that has 2 or more competitors joining in, with one common goal to be the best. Right? There's no other ways to it other than trying to be first place, or at least a team to be first place. So there's your competitive edge to it. The Olympics is starting soon. Hopefully, I think. Is it?
I don't know.
2021,
Yeah,
2020. Maybe.
a lot of people
so.
aren't going.
Yeah. So again, strange time to be in the pandemic and Olympics, but with the Olympics starting soon, the spirit of the competition is well alive around the world. Competitiveness is very human nature, and this is why when we talk about sporting or airsoft, it's that competitive edge to it, right? To be the best, to be the first, to be that top dog, right? So that's where we get into it, and people will dive into the hobby part because collecting, things, unique collections and stuff. So that's when we get into a little bit of fight. But at this point, when you're competing, it's basically a sport. With competitions, you're basically fighting for your pride, status, prestige, personal goals. They all come from the spirit of competition. Whether you don't like the other guy or not, I mean, then you have sportsmanship to deal with at that point. But your goal is basically to be the best. Different shooting competitions have very strict rules to follow for all its competitors to create sort of an even ground for everybody to play in, right? Like any sporting event, like when we talk about sports, there's always sets of rules that sort of guideline everybody to be here, and then how you excel at it is basically up to you at that point. Regarding your training, if it's your equipment, we'll get into that too, because I know Tak has some questions in regards to equipment. In terms of restricting equipment or like regulating equipment and such. So for the biggest airsoft sort of competition shooting that's sort of risen, IPSC Action Air, or International Practical Shooting Confederation, which is the real steel sort of like regulatory, like they're basically the Olympics of shooting competitions at this point. If you want to know what IPSC's Latin motto is, it's DVC. Now I'm gonna try and pronounce this properly because I'm not very good with Latin, but it's the diligentia vis celeritias. So in translation, accuracy, power, speed. That's what the shooting competition is all about. I would agree. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I would agree with that, because a shooting competition is all about accuracy, your power, and then your speed. Well, how do you get the power in there? Do you bust down the door? Mhm.
true.
Yeah, but
That's true.
power is stamina, I guess. So I guess in essence that is what the motto stands for. So IPSC is the largest. IPSC is a very large group comprising of about 70 plus countries that compete in a standardized shooting competition that has a very, very heavy set of rules, regulations, divisions, classifications, you name it, they have it. They've written rules in regards to shooting competitions. Action Air is um, a new portion of IPSC because of the fact that Airsoft came into mind, or what is it, like pellet guns came into mind when it comes to shooting. So they're using the propulsion that we have into their competitions with their stages, rule sets, and classifications. Um, it's great because it's basically a, if you're a small club and you want to host an IPSC event, you need to have at least a level 1 started, and guess what's at the very bottom? Action Air. That's a level 1 IPSC match rating event without needing much experience. So if you're an event organizer looking for that, that's a great way of getting into it. There's many different types of there's many different clubs that compete under the IPSC banner. BC has its own club, and as well as a Canadian national level as well. So it is there. They do get the same sort of C21 fight that we're fighting for as well. So they are there. It's just not a lot out there when it comes to athleticism and as well as competitions. They're out there. We do have a Canadian national that competes in these events, but it you have to compete in these like Olympic level events. You have to be able to, what is it, uh qualify for that event. So once they have the next shooting competition, let's say in like Thailand or something, I think Thailand was last year, you would have to compete for a spot to be qualified to compete in the, like, basically the finale. Um so the BC club basically goes through, they require you to have memberships on their clubs. They train people on how to acquire their RPAL. They train you on their black badge course. Then they'll take you in as a competitor to then streamline you into competing for these events. If you're good or not. I mean, that's all there is to it, right? If you're peak performance, they'll take you in, and they'll fund you, and then they'll take you to the next level. Nationally even. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of action air competitions in Canada. I looked through their website, and I guess it's one of those things where they don't really want to mess around with the level 1s. They rather mess around with like the higher levels, like level 2, level 3, and it goes all the way up to level 5. Um, so our focus today is just for shooting competitions in airsoft. Um, so Julian, now that we have that out of the way, what is your shooting competition about? If you could just go through like a little bit of a basis of, like, if I were to go up to your store and be like, "Oh, you got a shooting competition. What's it about?"
So the shooting competition we have is a basic competition of shooting targets down in two divisions between rifles and pistols. It's currently set up right now where it's an mission where it gives you 4 time runs. So you have a range marshal on officiate that will officiate or run when you're ready to go. Within the competition, you also get unlimited practice runs because we have a system that when you hit the target, it drops down, and then when you want to reset, the target percent pops up. So yeah, it's pretty much just like a entry level for people that are interested in target shooting, and in this case, we have the targets that drop down, and it sets a time when you finish hitting all the targets.
Okay, and then the goal of this is basically, the common goal here is you had that you're in that video you're talking about that leaderboard. Now that
Mhm.
leaderboard, is it filled already at this point from the first weekend? Do we have people?
We got people. We have 10 people that are registered, but only 3 people so far have done 1 round of officiate times. So we have technically have now 3 scores on the leaderboard. And I think this weekend we'll be uploading an online leaderboard as well that reflects
And
the
where are we gonna see this
on-field
online
volleyball.
leaderboard?
Probably in our Instagram and Facebook fairly shortly here this week when we start posting up the events. oh, sorry, the reminder for the events that we're having for this weekend. So I'll send you the link in a bit.
Okay.
Then you can post that up as well.
Oh, okay. Anyone else want to take over this? Actually,
I mean, yeah, I'll ask if I got a couple of things.
yeah, you guys keep going because apparently, remember we were talking about Zoom and our meeting minutes coming to an end here. We just hit it, so
Did we just hit it?
you guys just keep going. I'm gonna deal with it. Papa Poi will deal with it. And
Okay, thanks, Dad. Okay, well, Julian, so obviously, we've got the shooting competition going first. I will definitely add my name to the list this weekend. But
Yeah.
that being said, I've had a few people just kind of inquiring and stuff like that about the prizes and such. So do you feel like divulging that information, or do you want to just kind of leave it up to the whims of their imagination?
Well,
some
right
people might be teetering on
now,
that, you
I
got to tease
know.
them.
You got to tease them, yeah. So we have sponsors coming in, and the
Mhm.
sponsors are actually coming to hopefully drop us some of the banners up so we can show the community that we have, guys that support the sport as well. At the current time, the prize pool consists of between $50 to $150 gift certificates from the various sponsors. So we will be posting up hopefully by tomorrow once all the prices come in. But since the value is there, that's what we have currently going in terms of the prize pool.
Copy that.
And
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
okay. And for as far as like let's talk about the targeting system. Tack had an sorry, not Tack. Mac had an interesting bit there in regards to the targeting system. So when you say you were looking around the internet, looking for targeting system, were there other targeting systems out there, or was that like the end all targeting system? How much did it cost, if you don't mind asking? And then like, what are the other price range for all these things? Because I'm more of a tech guy when it comes to like all these things, and I was interested in like, wow, this is like a really fancy system with LAN cables that you have in there, and then like PoE, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty high tech.
So I've been around, as I mentioned to you guys, about 20 plus years, give or take, in the industry.
Mhm.
And I've always been monitoring and observing to see what manufacturers come up with target systems. For Airsoft specific, there's actually been a few systems that have come out. But though they work, one of the things is that you will always physically will have to go up to the range and reset the targets. They do vary. You've got ones where it's a plate, you hit it, it changes from red, you hit it again, changes to blue. There's one other system called the Mabel where it has a drop plate timer where you hit like a bunch of targets down, and then when you hit the last plate, then it stops the timer. So throughout all those systems, those all work, but I was trying to find a system that's something a little bit more faster, I guess, because if you spend the time going in and out and resetting targets, and you're losing time. You want to give the guys the ability to keep running multiple runs, right? And then if I came across this system where again it's it runs on internet or cables to kind of power the motorized targets to go up and down when you want to reset it. And from there, as I start digging, it's new in the market. It's been around the market for a couple of years, something like that. But diving into it actually is kind of a robust system. The only con, like if we have seen I'm not sure I've shown you Poi, but shown Mac, is that the targets can only handle a certain much of impact. Eventually, you blow a hole in the plate. Because they're not made out of steel or metal, they're made out of fiberglass.
Now, are they easily changeable, where you can just grab
Yeah.
another fiberglass, or even just change it into a plate?
Yeah, you can totally do that. So that's one of our experiments with the system. Now we're looking into doing like a very light gauge plate to install onto the target. The only thing is we're just trying to measure is the weight, because we're not sure if the plate is too heavy, then the guy can keep hitting the plate and never drop. So being light is important, so it works with the mechanized, the motorized target itself, so it drops down when you hit the target down.
But I've seen it. You have, for one sort of system, how many targets can you put in there? Because I see, was it 3, 6, and a 9, right? That's what I saw.
One brain module can manage up to 32 targets.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So
Wow.
That's okay.
yeah, so I was able to push this so far with about 24 targets just for, just try it out to see how it is, right? But yeah, you can push one brain up to 36. Sorry, 32, sorry.
And that runs off of a standard like PoE LAN connection.
Yeah.
And
Internet
that's how it
cable,
communicates, yeah. And the good thing is PoE can run up to 150 foot, I believe. So
Yeah.
IT guy here. So yeah, 32. You could have 30 something targets. You could place them in like different areas. So if you're doing rather than a static and change it to a more dynamic, you could basically place them all over the place. That's actually pretty cool.
Yep.
That's actually pretty awesome. I didn't realize that it was. And how much would it cost for just like a standard system for if someone was to purchase one? It sounds pretty expensive, to be honest.
Yeah, a system of 12 is usually what the market goes for. I think roughly about 2K, give or take. So a little bit of an investment. So not anyone would just go in and try it. And I think that could be a challenge for some people, because if you have people that are more into target shooting, they want something that's very versatile, but the buy-in is quite high to get this kind of system. So hence that's why we kind of started this whole thing, because we want this to use as an opportunity to let people try the system, and then at some point grow more interest and giving more chances for people to try it, right?
I just want to stop you there. I just want to remind our viewers and as well as our listeners that you have it there, folks. $2,000 for a system like that, right? Take care of it, guys, because Julian literally you have 3 systems going, or 2 systems going at the same time?
No, 2 systems. Yeah.
And guys, this is like, yes, we're playing with airsoft toys. Yes, it's expensive, but also this is why, you come in here, you pay for using it or pay for competing for the event, but also, guys, please take care of it, right? Like if we have limits on how fast your gun can shoot, right? Make sure you're, below that limit, guys, because you don't want to damage, especially for expensive equipment like that, right? You don't want to damage expensive equipment like that, because it's like 2,000 is a huge investment, right? And we're charging you, what is it? How much are we charging? $25, $20 per entry or something like that?
It's $25 per category for 4 timed runs, or $40.
So, again, guys, do the math. See how many people he needs to get that thing paid off, right? So, sorry, Julian. I just wanted to make sure that people understand that.
Thanks, boy.
It's an expensive hobby, yes, but also the people who are running the event, they are shelling out a lot of money just for you guys to have fun, to compete, to get that spirit of competition up, right? So sorry, go ahead. All right. So as far as divisions go, so we had rifles and handguns. Are we going to see shotguns? Someone was asking Springers. Are we gonna see those? Sorry, classifications.
Yeah.
Well, divisions are basically rifles, handguns, shotguns, different types of.
Yes, only.
Yeah, but I guess classifications are GBB, AEG, AEP, HPA. Oh gosh, you don't want to go full auto on this.
Just ban HPA.
And Springers. Are we going to see a multitude of different categories, just so that we could see all walks of life, all different, gun owners come in here?
I would want to run the competition and grow it into just very simple baseline categories. Obviously, there are different types of multiple or power systems for each airsoft gun or rifle. But in the end, at the end of the day, it should be the person, whoever wants to use it, using what type of system. So we haven't dived into that yet, because we don't know the impacts or the disadvantages or advantages between using different power systems. Because at the end of the day, for example, right now, when we were doing practice runs, we had a guy that's using a HPA CO2 gun, and he was getting good time. But then we had another guy that had an AEG, and he was just about to hit his time too, in terms of comparison. So really, at the end of the day, one could have a slight advantage, I guess, but it's still in the shooter.
Yeah.
It's all about skills. It's about precision. It's about accuracy, right?
Okay.
So I don't think we will be creating subdivisions for power systems, but we will be creating categories of the mains. So then,
Rifle, handgun,
rifle,
shotguns. Yeah.
piston, shotgun,
Okay.
sniper
Okay, we get some
rifles,
good old fashioned
maybe.
3-gun.
So were
Um,
you having issues with people having different systems? Like we're talking about like your HPA CO2 with the tank at the back to someone who's using an AEG, or even like someone who's using a Sistema system, or someone jumping into HPA, then wouldn't that make it not equal playing ground for everybody? Is that something that you guys considered yet,
um,
or?
we've been observing that for the last couple months. We wanted to see if there is a clear advantage and disadvantage. What we observe is a micro advantage at most. Because, for example, 12 targets, you start your first line targets on the front four. You pull the trigger, you hit the target, you pull again, and you miss it. When you recorrect it, you've already lost half a second, 1 second. So that micro advantage you have doesn't make any difference versus a guy that may not, and he could just hit every target every time. So that's why I come again. The power system, I don't think really makes a difference here. But ergonomics of handling it, yeah, I think that's important.
Okay.
So, and different types there. So
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. When you start sort of dividing people into different categories, then what happens is you get only one guy with like who has a Sistema system competing himself basically, and you're like, well, you're first place because no one else is below you or above you. So what are you gonna do, right? I get what you mean. There's the spirit of competition, but there's also, I guess we're gonna dive into some of tax stuff here. It's basically like gear, well, not gear, like different types of technologies that that
Tech
propel the bee, right?
specs.
So do you have any questions in regards to that tack? Because I know you were dying to get some of that answered, like barrel lengths or like
Well, just
He wanted to
figuring.
pick your brain, Julian. Tell him the truth. He wants to know the ins and outs, what's going on.
Well,
so
it comes into the addition of like the durability of the system, right? Because I know, like you said, you were trying to find that balance of what would work and everything like that. So then that comes into question sort of the weights people would be using, right? Because you want to find an efficient weight that can be used that when you hit the target, it's going to go down each time. Because there were a couple times there that I had observed that people's shots were bouncing right off the targets. And that's no fault of the person shooting, in my opinion, on that, and that also can have a negative effect on their timing. So I know that that's still being ironed out. But with that said, when you find that sort of sweet spot with that weight, there will be, I believe, sort of limitations on certain people's platforms and stuff like that, and I'm just wondering when you want to get into sort of like obviously you're just doing an introduction and you're trying to get this all started and stuff like that, but I believe, maybe in a later date, are you going to sort of have a more restrictive category, or are you going to find sort of like a all-round baseline
A
sort of
standardization.
like a spec that you can use, sort of not like how Poi was saying, where a guy with a systemic comes in, but it's like this is the mediocre gun, and it's all based off of the skill of the individual, and everyone uses the same sort of platform. That way, there isn't an argument of, oh, he used this or he used that, or he had a hair trigger and that's why he had an advantage. Like, no, you just missed. The same guy used the same platform and got a faster time than you. So is there going to be sort of that kind of restriction, or are you going to start sort of slowly implementing that?
At this time, because we want to see the player base of all the competitors that come to it and all the different systems they use. Initial right now, I don't see us restricting the items or the tech stuff that you could put on the gun, because like I mentioned before, like right now on the scoreboard, we have a guy that shot with an MTW or HPA. He got 9.7. And another guy that shot a AEG Masada, he got 9.6. So you got HPA, technically that's slight advantageous because it has the chipboard with a flat trigger. And you have a guy with the Masada that had a curved trigger and he's the AEG. So that's why right now still early to tell. I don't see us doing any restrictions, but I do see us creating more transition competition. So for example, like Mac mentioned, tree gun, you go from pistol, rifle to shotgun, right? And same thing like you mentioned, Poi, us having the ability to expand our targets, from 10, 12 to 24 to 2. Exactly, that's one of the ideas we have to kind of expand. And you go to one station, take out 3 targets, use your pistol. You go to your next station, take your rifle, take out 3 or 4 targets, and then go to shotgun and go back to pistol. Have you guys seen the movie SWAT?
Yes.
Like
Yep.
it's really with I forgot the guy's name. And in one of the movie, it has Samuel L. Jackson there making a bet with one of the guys, and they did that mirror competition. He died. You start off with the rifle, you do the roll, and you drop.
Colin Farrell, yeah, and they're
Yeah.
running.
Yeah. So you can see that's something I'd like to see us get there, where to push people to wanting to try and enjoy that, and then you can start introducing the different elements into the competition, other than just the standard flat static targets in front of
You
you.
want
So,
you want
but
to
like I
move
said,
into more the athletic competition at that point. Gotcha. Okay, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess right now you're just keeping it sort of a status quo with everybody. You're just checking everybody unless it starts to change dramatically, or you see a certain system is just taken over. Then I'm guessing a change is a must. But right now, I think what from what I'm hearing is you, as someone who's just starting up, you just want everybody to just jump in, have fun, compete, get your best times, beat your friend. Don't beat them up. Beat your friend in shooting competition.
And in real life.
Okay, if you want rivalry, I think a competition, a friendly competition, a friendly
Tax sucks.
competition. Here we go.
Oh, what? Oh, I was just gonna say Julian dropped the subtle bomb that it doesn't matter how much money you spent on your gun.
Exactly.
On the side of friendly competition, we discovered a game within the module called Whack-A-Mole.
Oh God, no,
Yeah,
no,
explain
I'm
this.
leaving.
Yes. This was
So, explain this to me, because I kept hearing it
So-
when I was editing the video. I kept hearing about it. I'm like, I actually haven't played it or don't know what it means, but I'm guessing it's similar
So
to
fun.
Whack-A-Mole. But
I
how
got
does it
em-
work?
I got
So
embarrassed.
on the target system, when you activate Whack-A-Mole, when you hit the button, the targets will all randomly pop up. Some 2 or 3 will pop up at the same time. Some will only pop up as one. And when the target pops up, you only get about a second or 2 to hit the target.
Ooh.
So, for example, if you have 12 targets, all 6 targets can just pop up at random spots, and you need to hit all 12 in the fastest amount of time made available to you.
I
So,
was embarrassed. Okay.
what we did
Yeah,
discover
yeah.
interesting is that, and this is cool because when you get people come and play and they're all trying it out, we had a bunch of guys trying it and they're trying to say, okay, we can't hit the targets. Then they had that great idea. Let's do a teamwork together. So you got 3 shooters to shoot down 12 targets in 3 lanes. So
Were they
we
able
are
to complete it though with 3 people?
they were able to get
Some.
half the targets because
Yeah,
because the targets
Wow,
pop up
that's
so
a little bit
fast.
disappointing.
But it's really fun because you get this team effort, because you got the guy on the left yelling to the guy on the right, hit that target. The guy on the right telling said, no, hit the front target. And the guy on the left said, no, hit the back target. And everyone's crossing
And they start
over.
trying to shoot each other's
feel
targets.
like I feel like this is the Airsoft equivalent of Mario Party and Airsoft.
100%.
Yeah,
Mini
so
games.
funny.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That's pretty cool. You get your money's worth out of a system that has other game modes in it. Is that a competition that you see happening in the near future with everybody signing up and having teams? Because it sounds like joining in as a team is a little bit more fun than individual. I mean, for individuals, it's for personal gains. For teams, though, it's fun for a group of friends, right? I mean, would that something be in the works?
Yeah, that'll be something, but we want that to be more of as a fun thing for guys to compete. So we look for it at some point to have guys form their creative team names and then just compete together. And because the Whack-A-Mole has 15 different levels, so we can start where one pop up, and then slowly it goes up to the 15, and then we can put a ladder board. Hey, whoever can get the 15 as a team, right? and then
Mm.
obviously communication. So that would be look forward to have you, Poi, Mac, and Tack to do one of these whack-a-moles.
Oh no.
Come on, Poi.
It'll be
I-
interesting.
Yeah,
we're
come on, boy.
gonna be in there.
We're
These
going
two
gas.
are arguing, and I'm trying to figure out what's jamming my gas. All right,
Okay, we are
that's what's
we
gonna
are
happen.
going gas only.
Okay.
Okay, all three of us. We will not finish the game.
No,
So-
no,
No, we
we'd
won't.
have
No, we won't.
jams. We have our
We
hopes
won't
and
ha-
dreams out
yeah.
the other end.
Savage.
We'd run out of mags before we even
It's in
complete.
run out of ammo before you finish all the
Oh,
targets.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, definitely the ammo aspect.
You
of
know
it.
what?
Hopes
I'm
and
willing,
dreams.
if you two are willing to try it out, I'll do it. We'll make a segment out of it, or not a segment.
Yeah.
We'll make a reporter video out of it, and it'll be fun. But
Hopes and dreams, boy.
okay,
Hopes
so
and
let's-
dreams.
so ASU shooting competition, guys. Like, just
Give it a try.
Give it a try. Well, Julian, in the quickest way, what would you tell people to get people to try, or like, for some people who are scared to get in there? We've had people at the field be like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm scared because these guys are younger than me and they, they're probably faster than me and stuff." What would you tell those guys? To entice them to join a competition, because it's hard to sort of get them going because they know it's there. They're just intimidated.
Try it, because we do offer freebie runs for guys to come and try it. Doesn't hurt to try. Try it, give it a feel, have a look, and note. Here's the experience we know about. You may see some guys on their practice runs get really, really good scores, but when they do the time run,
Yeah.
more than half or more,
Yeah.
they
It's the
will choke.
pressure. It's the
Yeah,
pressure.
exactly.
Pressure.
Daddy's
So
watching.
don't worry about that. That's what I'll tell for anyone new. Everyone starts somewhere. You gotta at least come and try it.
So try it out, guys. So let's jump into another topic here that came up a few times. Thanks to Mac for asking this. Would you? I think. Would you be a regular skirmish shooter, or a regular skirmish gameplay person, or are you a competitive shooting? Because for me, I'm kinda in the skirmish. I like my targets like big and moving, and trying to avoid and dodge all the shots, and trying to outsmart me, outflank me, versus static targets, paper targets. What's your guys' take on it? So my take is basically, I prefer the skirmish because I like the enemy trying to outsmart me and shooting back, right? In competitive, they don't shoot back unless. Julian, is there a system that shoots back at you? That'll be hilarious, actually.
I talked about this with Mac actually. It's like, are you like, cause like
Should we set up a
Todd-
sentry gun?
Well,
and
well,
just
'cause
like,
That's what I was
da- da-
thinking.
da-
Let's have a sentry gun on the
Yeah.
side.
Just 'cause
Duress shooting.
You guys
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
Starship Troopers? Okay, it did not end well.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly. We'll encourage the player to have a full headgear on just in case, hop up issues occur, aka getting shot to the left and right.
So what is your guys' take on it? Because I myself I prefer regular skirmish. I'm not really the shooting competition type. Although I do like I do like the timing, but like the timing portion of it, just the reloads, because gas, cool
Mhm.
fast reloads. But other
Mhm.
than that, regular skirmish is the way to go. Let's start off with Tack. What's your, or sorry, Mac, or you're over. Damn it, over
I-
here.
I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mac here. I really like the shooting competition so far, and then like Julian has said, and Tack kept butchering and stuff like that. It's new, so there are no standards set yet, but there are standards coming. So standardization will definitely increase the level of play and the competition that is already evident. So right now the key factor being a time score, that'll be great. And then what Tack is saying is that once we can kind of get a standardized platform, or when it comes to the amount of work that's done to the gun, or if it's stock, or vice versa, anything along those lines, anything to mitigate any possible handicap that players can have and stuff like that. I definitely see that evolving. And then moving into what Poi and everyone and myself is just kind of touching on, and what I will strive to play obviously, is that I would really like to get into like IPSEC, like real steel shooting and stuff like that. So if this is my chance to kind of like because I've seen it before, I've watched videos on it and everything like that. So if this is our way of kind of like taking our first baby steps, very, very baby steps, guys. These are airsoft guns, right? These aren't real guns and everything like that. But if we can get that kind of style of play into it and everything like that, yeah, I would think I would really enjoy that. Especially with what Julian's saying, from going from a rifle platform, transitioning into a pistol, and then maybe a tactical reload or some kind of re-indexing, or like anything along those lines and everything like that. I would really like to see, and I look forward to seeing that more. So yeah, that's where I sit on it. Is I'm sitting and waiting. I'm giddy because I'm actually excited. A lot of people have been like, wow, this is a really cool change. And it's like, yeah, Julian has been working really hard to, take care of that lower field and everything like that since we shut it down from back in the speedball days. And yeah, it's a good change of face for what is just kind of run around team deathmatch. I know that there is a small group of people and it's growing and growing, where a lot of people aren't going out and just playing anymore. They're here to work on those reloads. They're here to work on those transitions and everything like that. Like, I know guys that hang out at the field all day, and not once have I seen them in a game, but they're out there playing with their friends. They're plinking, they're challenging each other on speed reloads and everything like that. And yeah, it's great. That's what I want to see.
Beep.
Yes. The armchair airsofter.
Sure.
Oh, Pac, what's your take on it then?
Well, for me, I think it's really, really cool. Just because of the fact that it, like Mac's saying, right? It adds flavor to it. It adds options to it. I know a lot of people sometimes, like, let's say for my example here, turning a negative into a positive. So let's say you're not having a good day in, the drop-in games, right? Let's say, it's just not your cup of tea that day, so you're just getting slayed left, right, and center. You're not making the moves that you want to do. So instead of leaving the field, but you still want to play airsoft or whatever it is, you can step off for a little bit and, go hit up the range for a little bit, brush up on some of your skills, take your mind off of what just happened or whatever it is. So, having that choice is really, really cool. As well as the game modes. I know it hasn't been mentioned in our conversation here, but it's one that I got to try out, which is the hostage sort of situation, or like the one where you have targets that you can and cannot shoot, which also puts a negative to your score if you shoot the one you're not supposed to shoot. So FYI, guys, don't shoot
Do not.
civilians.
Yeah, the dynamic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I want to try that one.
Yeah. So I like that one just because of the fact that you have to sort of like, you're not going to have a super fast time. And if you do, you're a supercomputer because you better be
Aimbot.
Yeah.
Aimbot.
Yeah. To me, the price point is, really, really good on that for what the platform offers and, what is to be offered at the field and whatnot. The fact that Julian's got a store there and stuff like that. If you have, like he's saying, right, if any of your parts, break down or whatever it is, or you need something swapped out right away, Airsoft is so like a car in a sense that, like, it's really helpful to have a mechanic nearby and to be able to fix certain things and whatnot. And then I guess what I look forward to in the future really is to see just a lot more of these competitions. And maybe other people sort of having a different take on it as well.
Okay. All right. And Julian, your opinions on, like, what's your take on it? Are you regular skirmish or are you competitive? I'm pretty sure you're in the competitive shooting area. Or is it a hard one to get into?
I like to say I'm a hybrid. Can I say that? Both.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
do both.
Yeah.
I can,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can do both.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how about this. I'm infamous for shooting people in the head.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but
Competitive.
Poise the same.
That is the competitive level I push myself because, shooting a guy 50 feet, 100 feet, you see the head, but really it's only like 3 inches, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you keep training yourself to try to aim small, shoot small, right? Or shoot small, aim small, one of the two. From a skirmisher side, I know. Okay, correct on. I think this system, again, we never had this before, and I think this is a great training ground for anyone that's new and anyone that's semi-new to work on their skill set. So one of the most common things I'm sure you guys heard on the field, I'm shooting at a guy, call your hit.
Oh my
but
God.
really, is because the BBs are either dropping, or they're going sideways, or they're flying up because someone installed a hop up upside down. That happens, right? Having this system allows them to at least explore and try to see, I'm shooting a target, I'm 40 feet. Why am I not hitting a target? And this allows them now explore, because I've seen guys too, they go out to the field. They can't shoot a guy. They get pissed off and trying to figure it out, and then they just storm off. Having the system here allows them the time by themselves to count, okay, why can't I not hit that target? So take out the target system, take out the plates that we have, try it. And then obviously there's Tax there, I'm there, Mac, Boy's there. We can at least help the guys too to understand why is it the gun is not hitting the target.
Well, and just to add to that, Julian, like you've ranged out the back lot, correct? Like you have taken the wheel, you've measured it out and everything like that. And I believe we even have a distance marker set. So just real quick to people who do that, and people who tell us that their gun shoots 300 feet, prove it. That's it. So
yeah, we'll go down there. We'll be like, all right,
yeah, come down, prove
I'll
it.
sit down at the 300 and be like, I'm
Prove
waiting
it.
for that plate to ding.
Yeah, the ding. Yeah,
I'm hitting that guy. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, out of the 30 shots, you got one, and that wasn't even close.
But I want to add one more piece to this for guys that are regular skirmish too, is and this is again all the guys that tried this, helps you as a shooter, not necessarily as a competitor, but as a shooter in general, working on your target acquisition. You can shoot in guys that are moving really fast, but we haven't got much often time to lift up and then aim and then shoot, because by the time you do that, you really got shot. Right? By having this target system, you can help, I guess, fine tune your skill set, because you know where the target is. All you need to do is just keep practicing your arms, your shoulders, your torso to kind of lift up your gun to the target and know that's where your target is going to be and pull the trigger, right? And then all you need to do is keep training that, and eventually, without you thinking about shooting the guy, instinctively by muscle memory, because you've done this practice around so many times, you automatically just lift up and then you know where to shoot. So I think this is a great tool to have for anyone that's coming into the sport, anyone that's semi new, to use the system to help improve. I mean, who knows? On the day that you keep dying and because I'm shooting now, next thing you know, you can improve your game 5 times as whole, because that's the whole point of the system. We want this as an opportunity to give more options to people that are coming to the sport, so they come and enjoy the sport, not what's the other word, rage quit. Because we've seen that too. Guys that come in, they spend the money, they spend 2,000-3,000, whatever money on the gun, they go out, they play, they die, and then this is not for me. And next thing you know, they sell everything. And we don't want that. We want guys to come in into the sport, enjoy the sport, enjoy the camaraderie,
it gives them
be part
something.
of it.
It gives them something at the field to do other than regular
And
skirmish.
baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby steps. 3,000 on a gun. We need.
Now, I hate to kick this, but no one has mentioned team versus team competitive combat competition.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
okay.
Pizza.
Yes. Okay. Look. Boy, okay. Now you've let it out into the open and stuff like that.
It's
so guys,
competitive. It's competitive.
I know.
It's 5-on-5, competitive.
Julian and I have talked about this. We definitely had Elliot sit there and listen. He didn't really take in anything, but he heard the words coming out of our mouths. But basically, going on from that, guys, we definitely see the pros and the cons. And the cons. There's cons, guys. There's always cons. But we would like to continue the game escalation and game diversity and everything like that. So yes, Poi, thank you. There will be tactical team competitions coming of the small variety.
Okay.
And fast.
I still
Speed
want
soft. We're bringing speed soft.
I still want that idea of like not speed soft, but like 5 versus 5, but like having like not authentic, but like matching like militaries. So if you have like a German, German army team, you got
man, half of these kids can't even afford
G36.
kits, dude. Are you gonna tell me you're gonna try and stick 5
Dude,
kids with G36s together? I only know 4.
Not only do you have to compete like athletically at this point, but you also have to match the kit. Okay, there is I guess it's gonna be difficult to get them to go
Team
with kids.
Canada should all show up in Demacos.
Yeah, with like a big D on the
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Team USA with their
Standardization.
Colts.
Standardization, man.
Okay,
Like,
I mean, if it's in the works, then yeah, that's cool. I mean, speeds off is a thing, speed
Mhm.
QB,
well, just a
but
team dynamic.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Hitting the
team,
nail on the head, like you said.
yeah,
We would really like to incorporate the team factor and as well as the gameplay factor. So we'll figure out how that is. Like right there, I see it in the chat already. Some of the kids are talking about just like, oh, maybe we can try and run stuff in Kill House, and that's good. And it's bad at the same time. So I know a few people have done like speed runs through with like targets and stuff like that, setting up on their own time and everything like that. But the game that field isn't designed for that. It is designed to be a game field where the flow and the design of the field and the stuff that we've changed around and everything like that, it's for that.
yeah,
So, when we incorporate other things and other factors into, other changes that we'll make and everything, of course, these are going to affect our
yeah.
decisions.
But that's the thing. The difference in the real steel world versus like airsoft is you can't really do well. You can't really do like team versus teams in a real steel shooting competition, right?
I think
Unless
they do sim
simulation,
rounds.
yeah, simulation,
Yeah.
but there is no sort of base competition for that, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar, but they were talking about in Russia battle arena where they do like 5-on-5, 10-on-10, like
Mhm.
team. They do everything competitive in Russia. That's
Mhm.
It's Russia.
it's Russia, I
Mhm.
guess. But yeah, they had that in airsoft. They had like vent shields and everything. People, advancing into a symmetrical course
Mhm.
that they go through, right? That's how you even out the playing field, right? Everyone uses the same gear. There's one guy with the shield, one guy with the shotgun, whatever, and they'll just go through the course, see what they could do with an even set of team members, equipment, and such, right? So that's how you would make it competitive at that point. Is who's the top team to come out of this as they climb up the ladder, right? So there is competitions to be had with teams. There is, yeah, regular skirmishes are like for my opinion is still a thing for me, but I do get like why we need a shooting range and why we need like fun games like this because it just adds value to the field, and it's awesome to see sort of like this happen at like a shooting range because we haven't had like it's great that ASG has like totally redid what the shooting range is at this point because it's beautiful seeing everybody hang out there and actually testing out their guns, making sure everything shoots properly and such. Um, as far as let's move on here, history of shooting competitions in BC. Have you ran any other shooting competitions out here in the Lower Mainland, Julian, or is it just mainly just testing it out? Or because it seems like I've seen videos of you back in the old days testing out like some sort of IPSC style shooting range.
I tried a few. This is during the previous older club days as well, where we did some trial runs with some levels of competition, where we went as taking a piece of stick and putting a plate and place them in different locations, and the competitions go and knock out the targets in the fastest time.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
So it worked, but we weren't as popular like as a sport too, right? We're still growing too, so that didn't take off as well as we hoped back then.
Yeah.
But that's that's kind of like the only thing I've done before in the past. But this one I'm doing is more, I would say, trying to make it more
Has
mainstream.
has there any like have you seen in the last 10 years I've been airsoft? I haven't seen any other competition out there. Well, other than when Panther
G&G.
had
Yeah.
GNG
G
had
and yeah, G and
had it
G is probably the
They
only one
in
that I've
didn't
here
they didn't
though.
seen.
go.
In
No,
Uh,
never here. Never
never
here.
here,
So
No, I
never
know, I know,
here.
I know. GNG has their own
I
shooting
thought you were
competition.
just talking about like, yeah.
In general, no. As
Mm.
far as like in BC goes, I haven't seen any other ones other than I think Panther hosted one a long time ago, but that was under the old owner, and it wasn't really sort of a fair like competition because the owners just kept placing rules as he went along throughout
What
the
did
No,
day.
they give you like
To
no.
half a battery or something?
no,
Like here,
no,
play
they
with this. Like
it was more for competing for a free entry for the next week or something like that. That was the prize right there. But anyways, I haven't seen any like true competitions, the one that Julian has in terms of adding a leaderboard and as well as you know, just having the general competitiveness and as well as having it repeat every. Is it you're running it for a month, right?
This is
Yeah.
running for a month right now.
So
Yes.
so it's nothing similar to that in BC, and I haven't seen anything. So I guess
No.
we're not gonna get much in terms of this topic here because yeah, this is the first time we're seeing it, and it's
What's
Yeah.
okay.
a
We'll
breath of
have him
fresh air.
back.
Yeah,
That's why
We'll have
we'll
him
have it
back in a
more,
month.
right?
yeah.
Mhm.
I know I didn't want to really get into this, but let's just reel ourselves back into the Olympic level competition here. IPSC Action Air. Is ASG thinking about it? Because I know you're not too familiar with it, but IPSC is the Olympic level competition when it comes to airsoft shooting. Is this a goal for ASG, or is this something that's like way too like above your head right now and maybe later?
Um, so actually, we have some shooters that are currently in the competition that are dedicated IPSC shooters,
Ah,
and some of them are also dedicated IPSC real steel shooters as well. They're in
okay.
the program on the club. Um, so I've already been asked if down the line if you're going to create a course setup to mimic the IPSC style layout. Um,
Stages, yeah.
I s- yeah, I see us having it as an addition. I don't see us as becoming a main for
Mhm.
that because
There's a lot of
it,
requirements to be.
well, there's that, but I don't think everyone is into it,
Mm,
and we want this system to be open to all types of shooters. We don't want
Inclusive.
it
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, we don't want to be just IPSC style
Exclusive.
only,
Yeah.
and you can only use it for this.
yeah. Just
So we like with mentioned with like with Mac, like the speed soft, for example, right? The system is very versatile,
Mhm.
and we have still different layouts of the fields that we can build and utilize. So my hope is at some point as we grow this with the audience and the shooters coming in is to maybe turn ourselves into a some form of a league within that self. Then you have the different types of divisions, and then IPSC being one of them, right? Um, and then kind of grow from there.
yeah. Well,
So
the thing with IPSC is you can't name it IPSC unless you're part of their
yeah,
organization or group. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
issue is
yeah,
Mhm.
because they are, like I said, like a Olympic
Yep.
level. Right? You can't just put
Yep.
Olympics in your sporting event without
mhm,
following the rules, regulation, and even paying up to them, right? Because as IPSC Action Air, even for a level 1 stage, you need like your what is it, something like your black badge course and then your instructor course as well, and then you need to have officials to be sitting there, just one official with like referees for every course or something like that. So it logistically becomes almost impossible, especially for a small sort of like your company to run it, right? Because it's just yourself basically that's going to be running it, right? So
mhm.
I understand why IPSC is sort of like far away from our goals here.
Fine.
um
Whatever. We're calling it Airsoft BB's targets anyway. Whatever.
okay.
At the end of the day,
Julian's
the
whack-a-mole.
system.
Yes.
At the,
Yes. Good night, everybody.
my wife's not gonna be fine with that, if you don't mind. It's just so
I'm
awkward
texting her
saying
that
it,
right now.
Anyways, if anything, I would see the system be a good tool for guys that are into IPSC already. It's a
Mhm.
good training tool. Again, this comes back, it's just a training aspect, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If we take real steel IPSC, you go out to a range, you're limited by the weather range, you're limited by ammo, you're limited by weather.
Nomenclature is
By the
there. I mean, you're using
Yeah,
similar systems to
similar.
your real steel ones. We've already talked about this in our airsoft as a training tool. Now we're just applying it to competitive training tool at this
Yeah,
point,
Exactly.
right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, IPSC, it's just not there for us, unfortunately. But I mean, if you're looking for something to just mimic it, I mean, Julian's whack-a-mole game is right there for you.
Mhm. Do you want to practice for your IPSC? Hey, Julian's whack-a-mole.
There you go.
Oh boy.
It's too late, Julian. It's too late.
As far as like
Next thing.
C21 goes, like I know for the IPSC guys, we're basically in the same sort of like pile. So I guess what I was trying to ask is like, yeah, if we do move into more IPSC style, we we would then become more recognized as like an actual true sport at that point because it is regulated. It is, these guys who actually run, real steel sporting competition, and then we're matched up with them. So I guess that's just thinking in the long run because I've been dealing with C21 for a while now. So that's that's something in there, but yeah, it's just not something that a small field like us or an organization would be able to do. Um. Anyways, let's move on here. What is in the future of our shooting competition here, Julian? What are we looking at after we're done this? After you've given out the prize, after you have to repair all the equipment that people have just ravaged through. What are you thinking about? What do you have any teasers? Do you have any hints? Do you have anything solid planned?
So we already
Us.
planned the second competition.
Oh, there we go. There you go, guys.
Yes.
There we go.
You heard it
Wrap
right
it up.
here.
We will have a break from the first competition for a
Okay.
couple weeks,
Okay.
and then we will start up the second competition. In that one, we're going to be introducing reloads as a mechanic.
Ooh, let's go, gas
Okay.
users.
All right.
Right?
Here we go.
So, for example, if you have a 12 target system, then your magazine will have 6 shots, for example.
Ooh.
Is that
Uh,
per mag or you know what? Those are rules. We'll work out later. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
No,
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 I love
I
this.
like it.
I'm
I like
excited.
it
Yeah.
Mm.
My mags are
like I said-
leaking.
No max hop ups allowed.
That's a lot more. But yeah, that's kind of why we're working the motion, right? And that's the other part we mentioned is the whack-a-mole team game. We're looking at that too. Tack already mentioned a little bit that we didn't want to say yet is the hostage rescue game. That is random, that's also very, very challenging for people because, like you said, the targets will pop up. If it shows the color green, you're not supposed to shoot it, and when you shoot it, you lose points. And same thing, that one we also want to introduce it as a team effort game as well.
Mm.
Because now you need to be more than just one person being disciplined, right? Like it's like,
yes, you have 3.
Here we go. Terrorist.
So and now here's the I guess one of the best parts too, because we have the 2 ranges side by side. We want to run 2 teams run it at the same time, so they can see across each
There's a
other. So
there's a
that
rivalry
a
there,
little bit of rivalry will
Yeah.
go between both
Alright.
sides too. So
Who thinks they're good? Who thinks they're good?
we're looking for again is to have lots of individual shooters. We also want to look forward to get a lot of team shooters into it too. And then, like Mac mentioned, we were talking about the whole speed up thing. We want to hopefully introduce that, or at least a sneak peek of that, as we're doing also field development every week here too. So guys, as you guys come every week, you're going to see always continuous improvements at the shooting range. So look out for that. You guys will find it very interesting. Lots of fun things happening.
Okay. And as far as like a lot of these are basically very static shooting. Are you gonna start introducing sort of dynamic shooting? Getting into cover or like opening doors or something like that. Standard IPSC stuff. Open up barn doors or something like that. A lot of the things that you would see like running around and stuff in a course, right? In a stage.
The dynamic one is like mentioned as the transitions. That's one we've really been looking at.
Yep.
Because
first,
we want to slowly build people's interest in wanting to try
so that's
this, right?
that's for later then.
Yeah, but there are two mechanics we're working on. One, we're working on a motion target system where the target moves. And then the second one, we're working on another system where doors will open and close automatically.
Ooh,
Okay. Okay.
So
All right.
different,
Yeah,
again, different.
We're getting
different
into the
mechanics to try.
IPSC stuff now.
So,
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Guys, let's be real here. We're getting into airsoft science.
Now to the extreme. Now this is, I know me and Tim were trying to work on this, but it's just wasn't possible with the resources and the time and.
Let's be honest. It has to do with the time.
Yeah.
Okay, you're there.
If
You can't do it alone.
If now this is probably something that you haven't thought about yet, or I don't know if you have, but have you ever heard of the tactical games where they incorporate endurance, stamina, shooting, and a little bit of IPSC stuff? A lot of it is strength and endurance, basically running from one end to the other, for like 400 meters, and then climbing up, or like rappelling down, and then taking a shot, and then running back, carrying weights, dragging, all that.
400 meters.
No, it's more than that. But
And next on Ninja Warrior,
Yeah.
hosted by Julian.
so something like that. Will ASG incorporate something in the future for that, or is that something that's like not possible, or it's just
Julian,
way
just
too
stick
big?
a pin in it. Just stick a pin in it.
Put it in the back
I don't.
burners.
I don't think we'll say no. I definitely say we'll
There
be
we go.
open.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the biggest part, like I said, because we're starting, is we want to see the audience, all right, and we want to see there's a fair amount of people that wanted to. If you only have like 5 out of 100, then may not be worthwhile to build something that not many people want to get into,
Yeah,
right?
It was
so
the
definitely I can
interest.
see
It
it
was
down
the
the line.
interest that kind of killed it, because there was only a few people interested, but not everybody. Because
Well,
they're
everyone
like,
says they're interested, but doing it and saying it, very different thing.
so
I know tons of people who-
far, your shooting competition has brought out a lot of people that regularly do not do shooting competitions. So I mean,
But here's
it's
one
taking
scenario I can
interest.
give you.
Okay.
Here's one scenario I can offer you. This not exactly what you're describing, but it has similar elements. So I've done. I write milsims, right? So one of the things I also write is called a role-playing milsim, where the competitors is not about just shooting; it's also about mind games. And we have a team versus team. So we basically will switch sides, right? So in Panther, they used to have one of the sections with 4 walls or 5, right? So the scenario is that you get 4 guys on the outside, you have 4 guys on the inside, plus
I remember this,
1
yeah.
person. So the 4 guys on the inside are guards, and the 5th guy is like a manager. The 4 guys on the outside's mission is to get inside the building and assassinate the manager. But guards are posted and they will check them. So the challenge here is how can you eliminate the manager when you can't really bring guns into that. So that we run that as a kind of like a competition style, because then you have to think, how can you bring your supposedly silenced pistols or guns or knife into the facility without being discovered or getting shot by the guards. Then it becomes quite interesting afterwards.
Hey, Zeus has got some really good guards, man. You don't want to.
That's gonna be an interesting aspect on how, like, with the competition wise, like how fast can you eliminate, or do you time it by elimination time, like how fast you eliminated them, or is it just like based on like hitman points where you're just like going in there how sneaky you are and stuff?
Buddy,
Well,
Christian
the grading
Bale equilibrium.
the grading we did is the timing to assassinate the manager, how many guys you lose, and how many guards you take out. So that was the grading points. So I will say we will be writing some of those in the near future, because there's definitely an interest for that, because it's more than just shooting at that time.
Yeah, no,
right?
it's a lot more to do with role play at this point, and there's some folks out there that love the concept of Trouble in Terrorist Town. You know, all these games that they've seen online. You know, Dayton plays, or the meme team plays, and it's just fun. It gets a little bit, like, I could tell you, running games like that, it does get a little bit competitive when it comes to strategies to how to work it, right? Because at certain times it's just random, it's just unpredictable. It's not like a straight competition where you go in there and you run a course and you just run it as fast as possible. This one, you're right, Julian. Mind games, mind freaking games, just fudging with people's heads. Right? No, I get you. I love where you're going, and I've seen that before in my mini games as well. And it's always fun when you throw a bone at them and be like, "Yeah, figure it out."
Oh God, I know. Every time
you
you
were beside him the entire time. Your friend was the liar.
You were actually a terrorist. You didn't know.
I had that game. I had one of those.
So yeah, you add an element of the mind games at that point. So you got athleticism, you got shooting skills, you got endurance, you got stamina, and now mind games. Yeah, I mean that's a whole different element that you don't really see in a standard shooting competition, because you can't really go, force on force with people with standard
Yeah.
shooting competition. That's one, and B, it's airsoft. We do our own thing, right? I mean, that's ultimately it. We always have fun. Okay. Anything else in terms of competitions that you have boiling in your mind, other than that? No, no.
Get your rubber knives.
Mm.
Or
No,
you
we're
can
gonna have
do
a
the
melee section. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
really?
Oh no.
Rainbow will love that.
Yeah, Rainbow's gonna be the king of
That's
that
like,
for.
hey guys, welcome to Panther Kendo. It's like, what? What?
let's
What?
let's let's get let's take physical.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
let's tone that
Let's
down.
not.
Maybe
Let's not.
later.
No.
Um.
Hey!
So we're almost done with this sort of like interview portion. What is the future hold for ASG right now in terms of as the company? Are you planning more mini milsims or milsim events? I know your night games are doing pretty well. What else do you have in store here? Like, do we have another mini milsim coming up?
We were going to run one this summer. Unfortunately, due to field restrictions, we are unable to.
Yep.
I have been planning to consider running a mini milsim, but as a 16-man game.
Mm.
It's like
I
a
just
squad
haven't.
then.
Sort of
Okay.
two. It's 12 4 versus 12.
Okay.
So it's a
Uh-huh.
different type, I guess, of a standard objective milsim. It's definitely a more immersive milsim. I just haven't finalized the date yet, but that's something we're looking to hopefully maybe consider running between August and September, depending on the scheduling right now at the field. Other than that, if the field opens up, maybe we'll run one like we did with our two guest stars, Tak and Mac, on last year's milsim. I believe they played, if I'm correct, 3 roles for each of you. Also
Yep.
4. I've lost track.
I
It was
lost
a
track.
lot.
I lost track
I lost
after.
track of the
So
accent, honestly. So.
I
yeah,
lost the accent by the end of the Milsim. I didn't know who I was.
yeah. So hopefully we'll have our 2 guest stars back at our next milsim.
Oh,
From
NPCs
the
are
different,
there.
yes, our NPCs will be there to gladly welcome you aboard to the second milsim that we'll have planning. So, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just, as you know, we're all coming back into Airsoft. More people are coming back into it. So
Mhm.
hope that we can run a milsim sometime this year. But again, field restrictions is what we're kind of waiting for this
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
And if not, then next year for sure, spring we'll have one probably somewhere between March and April to start off.
Mhm.
We'll just have to make sure everyone is warm because they'll probably freeze. So
And
This is
uh,
true. Last year, the guys who tried to play in the
Bob
like
Shanty.
yeah, they
They
didn't
were
do so
well, a bunch of
well,
the yeah,
or people were
exactly.
skipping out really early and whatnot, or they weren't interested in the night portion of it, and they're missing out on such a fantastic element of
Well, a different
of an
style of
event.
game. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
and so why not take advantage of it, especially when you're paying for it, guys.
yeah,
well,
and
this is where if we, again pushing the word out, guys, come out and try the night games that we're running. It's not full blown. It gives you a little taste of playing from dawn to dusk and some
Mhm.
nighttime. And on top of that, we have lights too, so it's not completely dark.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
we
love
have the
I love what you
ability
guys set
to,
up there.
yeah, so we have the ability to switch off the lights too if you guys want to play dark. One of our famous games that people love is called Prison Break, where we turn off all the lights and then you got 10 to 20 guys escaping and 2 to 4 guards with the flashlight. And the guys for the prisoners trying to escape, their mission is to not get caught, not get shot, and make for the extraction point while the guards are circling everywhere with their
Starting to see a pattern here with
flashlight.
Julia and just mindfuck games. Like I want to know
But,
how you tick.
but come fun the night games. That's something a lot of people do enjoy,
Hmm.
and we
Yeah.
always can have more people come out and try different types too.
All right.
Um, yeah.
Any other sort of not events or anything, but any other plans for just the company itself? Any expansions, just same old. I
Um,
know, I know. With ASG back then, it kind of just took a hiatus. Now you're basically apathy up again. Any other expansions or anything happening in the works here?
For the store itself, right now, focus is just providing support, which is parts and accessories first at this time.
Okay.
Down the line, our focus is more the league, the more people that come into it, because we think
Mm.
that's where we want to grow and then where the people want to be. Who knows? Who knows? We can maybe go full turn, full events. Because we did reach out to a couple people in the interior to run a larger events. On top you have with Trigger and Omega running Crossfire. We also there's other places too that slowly are offering. So if we can collaborate with the guys too, then we can create even a more large scale immersive sims, vehicles too, and then hopefully pyro as well, right? So we're hoping to participate and partner up in that as our long-term goal with the guys and for the community too. So
Okay. And lastly, what do you need from like the community to push forward for either more competitions or anything from ASG? Is there any
What
sort of
would you
word?
like to see?
Yeah, what would you like to see from the community?
come out, play, try the target system, come in the store, say hi, talk to us, give us your ideas, give us your support, ask us any questions you want. And then from the game styles to the equipments that we use to the different target shooting systems that you can adapt or use, right? We want everyone to come and try it. We don't be turned away by the guys because everyone is the same boat. So all we're asking me, just come on and try it. Play the game for fun because everyone's there for the same thing. It's just to have fun together, play
Okay.
together. And then
All
obviously
right.
meet Tak and Mac as the 4 NPCs. So if you guys haven't seen them, I don't know, can you guys reprise one of your roles
Oh, hell
on
yeah.
this
Anything
boat?
you need, depending on the storyline, we're there. Okay, I got you. We are
Oh.
DLCs. So that's it. Like we're just what's up. The patch is updated. Here we go.
Yeah, and if for your mill sims, I just want to add, if there are people that are scared of like jumping into the mini mill sims and stuff, I mean, your mill sims are so streamlined in a way that it's easy for us as a squad leader to like jump in and corral a lot of the younger folks like that I was doing from the last mill sim. Just taking care of the younger folks. So if it's your first time, you can come talk to me, and then I could help you get into the game pretty quick here because I'm used to just dealing with newbies in a Milsim event, and yeah, we'll just dive into a lot of the RP right away because that's what I love the most. And Milsims is the RP, especially from these two.
Yes, we love you, Mayor.
Yeah.
I mean, no war crimes were committed that day.
Yeah, no war crimes were committed.
That's another
that day.
game.
That was a whole other Mel Sims.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Julian. For coming on board here and going through some of the shooting competitions and as well as the many different aspects of running it. Especially with an expensive equipment like that, it's great to see. Like I said, it's a breath of fresh air to see something at the field happen, competitive wise, because you don't see a lot of that. It's just now everybody has like a base mark of where everybody is in terms of a standardization of shooting competitions. Now there's a leaderboard in place. Guys, go out there, try it out, put your name up in the board because you never know. And prizes, guys, prizes.
Yeah, prizes. Yeah.
That is the
More
number
big
one
prizes
drive.
to come for sure. Yeah.
Heck yeah! All right. Where can people reach you, Julian? Website, Facebook, any socials? Can you just spill it out and let people know where they can find you?
Facebook, just facebook.com Airsoft Strike Group. Instagram is Instagram Airsoft Strike Group.
Yep.
That's where you can reach us, and that's where we keep our updated posts.
Okay.
Our website is unfortunately still a work in progress. We ran into some server issues, but those are the areas you can come and find us there too.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect, guys. And yeah, you're always at the field Saturday or Sundays, I'm guessing.
Yep.
So
Saturday, Sundays.
Go
Yeah.
reach out. The store is literally right beside
You
the
can't miss
canteen.
it.
The
It's
canteen,
right
yeah.
behind the concession.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right by the concession.
yeah.
There's a big sign
Yeah,
now that says
there's a big sign.
ASG. Yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
If you know where the whiteboard is, you know where the ASG shack is.
there you go.
Well, and then okay, so just to add on to guys, right? Like Julian's doing such a great thing for the community, especially at Panther, and then even just the BC Airsoft community in general. Just basically, literally, and I know we throw this like term out there a lot, and some people don't like it, but it's a game changer, right? Like seriously, you're making a curve. This is like the fulcrum point where we can kind of change things and swing it around because from running and gunning to just kind of playing team deathmatch. We're really trying to officiate and create a real sense of community, sense of competition, sense of diverse gameplay and everything like that. So yeah, guys, anything to help ASG Panther, right? Like, share, subscribe, all of that jazz, guys. Spread the word. That's what's most important, is getting the exposure out there.
Okay, and
Yeah.
with that, we will close this off. I will leave Tack to do the closing statements here.
Oh, okay. Well, hey guys, thanks for listening. This has been the Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk, episode 54, with your host Poi, Mac, Tack, and our guest Julian. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
guys.